Since ancient times, the mountains of Himalayas have been attracting people with their blissful beauty. The snow-capped mountain Kailash has a special place among them. Over century, many pilgrims come to this place, and here among this mysterious mountain, they hope to find out their questions and remember the purpose of this incarnation. From ancient time, kings, legends come bow the invisible god that inhabits the mysterious place. For centuries, the secret pilgrimage around Kailash has been continued.
As dawn dispels the darkness of the night, so we set out on our journey from ignorance to truth, from the chaos of city life to the majestic silence of Kailash. First stop, Mumbai, city which never sleeps, city of dreams, desires and attachments. But this journey demands that with each step, we unwind from the trappings of material life. Step by step, we leave behind the glittering and shining objects of our desires. As we leave the known for the unknown, excitement and nervousness both well up in our hearts. We take off with a common prayer that we should reach and connect with the divine in Kailash.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Our stay is at a prestigious hotel in Kathmandu for the last taste of comfort, of luxury, for the Last Supper, but mostly for our critical briefing by the expert Sherpa team who are going to be our guides, our companions, and our protectors on the journey. As we board the bus to take in the beauty of Nepal, we know that the ascent to Sri Kailash, the holiest of the holy, has begun. Such an ascent cannot be completed without divine blessings. And Nepal is the perfect place to start. It is, after all, the land where Siddhartha Gautam, later known as the Buddha, took birth some 600 years before the Common Era. Our first visit, Swayambhunath, one of the holiest Buddhist chaityas. It is said to have evolved when the Kathmandu Valley was created out of a primordial lake more than 2000 years ago. Our gaze is met by the Buddhist stupa, structures and prayer wheels. To visit a stupa is said to be the same as meeting the Buddha in person. It bestows peace, freedom, joy, and helps us attain enlightenment. As we walk around the stupa, turn the prayer wheels, recite the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum. We make wishes for the benefit of all these 30 souls on this blessed yatra. The next visit takes us to the abode of Lord Shiva himself, the Pashupatinath temple, one of the most important religious sites for devotees of Shiva. Built in the 5th century, the site itself is said to have existed from the beginning of the millennium, when a Shivaling was discovered. It is one of the largest temple complexes and stretches on both sides of the Bagmati river, considered holy by the Hindus. Our last visit is that of the Buddha Nilkantha temple, a Hindu open-air temple dedicated to Lord Vishnu. The 5-meter-long image of Vishnu as Narayan was created in the 5th century from a huge piece of stone. The intricate artwork that went into the sculpting of this image of the sleeping Vishnu is indeed impressive. Our entry into Nepal was indeed spectacular. Starstruck, the night falls, and awestruck, we close our eyes. With hope and renewed resolve that we should reach our destination in Mount Kailash to meet and merge with the ultimate Shiva.
Now here we start our journey from Kathmandu to Sabrabesi at an altitude 1500 meters above sea level and 10 hours long journey to cover 122 kilometers on a very poor road condition, which is a task in itself. Roads get more worse as you travel further from the city, but the ambience is worth exciting than your daily life travel, and this is important as a traveler who likes to explore things. It was a tough day though. As we gone ahead, there was a huge landslide which closed down the road. We had no choice but to stay for overnight at Downhills, which was 2 hours away. After our stay at Sabrabesi, it was time for welcoming the sun and start our journey ahead, traveling for almost 105 kilometers to reach Kerung. Now we have reached Sabrabesi and Kerung border. The roads are closed because of landslide. We don't know we will reach or not, but be positive. This is the third landslide of the route. After we reach the Nepal and Tibet border, we had to walk for almost a kilometer to reach the immigration office. We walked about a kilometer from the landing area in Timur to the Chinese border, where we got our bags checked from the officials. Post-checking, we proceeded to the Russo Bridge and walked to immigration. It took us about 10 to 15 minutes per person to get our fingerprints scanned and our passports validated before entering China. Kerung is also a famous religious and historical place home where 11th century great saint and guru Milarepa, known for his tantric wisdom as well as poet and folk singer, lived. His songs are still remembered by local herdsmen and villagers. High in the Himalayas, just across the border from Nepal to Tibet, China, lies a small village community that has become one of the most important crossing points in Tibet, locally known as Kerung. After having acclimatized ourselves, we started our further journey from Kerung to the world's highest and the largest Tibetan plateau, approx 275 kilometers of travel on an altitude of about 4,000 meters into inner Tibet from the wild. There are huge mountains, grasslands, and streams that provide a breathtaking view. The beauty of this place is unparalleled. I always wanted to visit Mount Kailash. That's my wish. You can't understand the reality. It's not easy for a person to take vacation for such a long time. I was planning to this yatra for the last 7 years. I wanted to come to see Kailash. That has always been my dream. Only healthy body with a healthy spirit, always searching for cosmic invisible power around you, and that powerhouse who called me is Mount Kailash. That's the call of my Lord Shiva who called me here. I don't think it is a trip for everybody. For some, this trip will bring a lot of suffering, like any austerity. If you really want it, like for an example, fasting, then it will be for good. But if you're not morally ready for it, then you will suffer. But if someone wants to experience the culture, then he should visit Tibet, that is Sri Mount Kailash. It does make you stronger. In the full travel, it is recommended to practice a healthy lifestyle for at least 6 months before Yatra. Practice yoga to prepare your body for the test. Otherwise, it will be a shock when you are climbing a mile and feeling like dying there and not able to reach it. Of course, you must prepare yourself. We enchanted Lord Shiva mantras while travel and keep boosting our energy to the top. We halted for a lunch and enjoyed our food in an open ground in the nature's womb. My personal opinion is that physical training has nothing to do with the Kailash trip. Only the energy aspects matter. It's a deed which represents your soul, while in turn either helps or troubles you during the yatra. But at the same time, you need to understand that it's possible only for a short period of time to solve your inner problems with energy of climate. Some people might not experience these changes because they are holding on their problems. But I believe if those people do step in this direction, then in the next life they can go further. After lunch, we started our journey to a sudden halt where we stopped by an obstacle. You can see how our drive person and the whole team helped to come out and proceed further. With fresh and cold wind blowing, we drove up the mountains, followed by the plains. With a splendid view of Lake Pikosu, we crossed the river Sangpo, that is Brahmaputra, on the way to witness Saga. We reached Saga after an 8-hour drive. Saga is a bustling town as most of the routes converge here and the way to Mansarovar actually begins from here. This town has supermarkets, restaurants and big hotels. Most of our group members bought things from here such as flowers, chocolates, fruits, walking sticks and so on. Considering that this would be the last stop before arriving at Mansarovar. We had a day stop here. We stayed at a beautiful hotel with modern facilities, which was a huge relief. Our drive from Saga to Mansarovar began. We had to travel a 10 to 11 hour journey to reach our destination Mansarovar Lake at an altitude 5,250 meters. It was a beautiful journey, a bit tiring but full of enthusiasm. Traveling further, we reached near the Hopa town with the first view of Sri Mount Kailash. Hey Shambhu! Our eyes were glittering and filled with tears of joy and satisfaction, the reason we all came. We reached Mansarovar late in the evening and were directly transported to electric buses to proceed further. These buses took us for parikrama, circumambulation around the lake at 110 km distance. At altitude of 4,590 meter large lake with fresh water catches our eye, and it was an amazing experience to watch Mansarovar. In Sanskrit, Manas means mind and Sarovar means a lake or a large pond. As per mythological stories, the lake was first created in the mind of Lord Brahma, after which it manifested on earth. In Hinduism, Lake Mansarovar is personification of purity, and one who drinks water from the lake will go to abode Lord Shiva after death. It is also believed that it cleansed all of their sins committed over even 100 lifetimes. Manasarovar floats beneath the shadow of holy Mount Kailash as the lake formed in the mind of the god. It feels so calm inside when you touch the water in the lake. It made me feel something beautiful inside, which we do not bother to look in our busy life. Rakshastal, which means the lake of demons, also known as Ravantal. The mythology story of Rakshastal tells us it was made by Ravana, the demon king, for the purpose of collecting superpowers from Lord Shiva through the act of meditation and devotion. We enchanted Tandav Stotra and saw a miracle rays of light emerging from the cloud to the Rakshastal, showing its divine presence. He would offer his head each day to please Lord Brahma, and on the 10th day, the god was pleased with his dedication and granted him his wish.
Dawn breaks at Lake Mansarovar with an exquisite darshan of Sri Kailash. Words fail to express the experience. The head bows on its own. The hands join in pranam mudra as we salute the abode of Shiva and the supreme consciousness which he represents. The imprints of Shiva's face and his matted locks are clearly spotted on the majestic snow-capped mountain. In this divine stillness, no other prayer wells up in our hearts except for the one from the Isha Upanishad. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. After a purifying bath with the water from Lake Mansarovar, we begin Ganpati Aradhana. We invoke and worship Lord Ganesha to remove all obstacles from our path so that we may complete the daunting kAILASH Parikrama successfully, so that we may reach our destination and unite with the Supreme Consciousness, the Supreme Lord Shiva. Lake Mansarovar is the litmus test, we are told. If our health conditions are favorable, we can decide to embark on the parikrama. Fixing this objective in our hearts and minds, we'll all move to the shore of Lake Mansarovar, taking turns to perform Shiv Abhishek. Each drop of water offered is a prayer so that we may shake off any negativity and purify our body, minds, and hearts so that we may have the courage and strength to undertake and successfully complete the free day parikrama. Through mantra chanting, we also pray for protection as we set out to seek and unite with the Supreme Consciousness, with Shiva. It is believed that the precise moment when man recognized fire was the moment of his greatest insight. It was the specific time when his consciousness took an evolutionary leap from the instinctive to the intelligent to the intuitive. In the same manner, we light the yagya before we embark on the parikrama, that praying that Shiva guides us, lifts us from the mundane to the divine. Yagya is both a science and an act of faith. As a science, it is a series of rituals that have been practiced in India for more than 4,000 years through the medium of the Vedas. It is, however, faith which makes the experience of yagya spontaneous and elevating. And this is achieved only when we can attempt to invoke and surrender to the divinity inherent in the practice of yagya. And in this one, the divinity is, of course, first and foremost Shiva. Our hearts brimming with faith and hope, united in our quest for the divine, we take a last shot of the divine view offered by Lake Mansarovar and Sri Kailash. Each breath spontaneously chanting Om Namah Shivaya, we bow our head one last time before heading for the free day parikrama, one last jap before night sets in. That night, we stayed in the lodge at Lake Mansarovar. We made up our minds to take the free-day parikrama, on foot or by horse, come what may. But there is a mythological story that the gods and goddesses descend from heaven to take their bath in Mansarovar. Like little kids, we woke up at 3:30 a.m., gazing at the sky in the freezing cold. Sure enough, we observed a light swimming on the surface of water. We watched the play of light, hovering above the water, secretly seeking the blessing of Devtas and Devis in our hearts before we set out for the parikrama.
After a wonderful relaxation around Lake Mansarovar, a short around 30 kilometers drive to Darjan, a town which is situated right in front of Mount Kailash. We stayed at a lovely 4-star hotel which had all the modern luxuries and was a tremendous relief. Darjan is located south face of Mount Kailash, where the holy wall starts and ends our drive. After a night's stay at Darjan, we had an early breakfast and we all proceeded to Yamadwar by a bus. The parikrama of Kailash starts from the Yamadwar, and the pony or porter can be rented from this place. Remember that the altitude of Kailash ranges from 15,000 to 18,000 feet, and even a small bag will feel heavy, and you will not get any pony or porter in between. This was the only day after which our dream parikrama to Mount Kailash would begin in real. Our hearts and mind were nervous and full of enthusiasm, as we have been awaited for years together to reach the Holy Land at least once in a lifetime. The magnificent Mount Kailash is widely known as the heavenly abode or the house of Lord Shiva. And the first thing any house needs is the main gate or the entrance point so people can come in. The entrance spot for the sacred Kailash Mansarovar Yatra is called the Gate of Salvation or Yamadwar. Yama is the god of death and Dwar implies door. Many pilgrims from around the globe visit the holy mountain to have an adventurous or a spiritual experience, the one they remember for a lifetime. Out of many destinations or holy spots around Shiva's heavenly abode, the Yamadwar is of most spiritual significance since it deals with heaven and souls. As per ancient Vedic, it is said that Yama or Yamaraj is given the duty to judge your deeds after your death and deduce where one's soul shall be taken, depending on its legitimacy and sin. But as per belief, if you pass through this dwar, the Yamaraj's accountant, Chitragupt, removes all your sins from the book of judgment and you will get a place in heaven. Chitragupta is one who keeps all the records of each and every individual. This depicts the spiritual significance of Yamadwar and marks the need of one and all coming to visit the holy abode to walk through this spot before entering. The local tradition dictates that one has to make 3 parikramas of the small chotan enter the door and leave some personal belonging inside the door. Also, one should not turn back to look at the Yam Dwar and should proceed directly for Dirapuk. Yam Dwar is a holy spot not only for Hindus but also for people of Tibet. They believe that Kailash is the home to Demchok, their deity. So every year they tend to set up a new prayer flagpole in Tarboche, the name given to the Yamdwar by the Tibetans. This is celebrated as a religious event on the full moon day of the fourth lunar month every year. People from all over Tibet come on this religious day to experience the clockwise circumambulation or parikrama. The festival even lasts for few days and includes music, drums, horns, etc. There are many stories and legends related to the Yam Dwar and the massive Kailash Parvat, proving how much mystical and of great importance this place is. One and all shall come and experience the spiritual vibe of this place. After doing rituals at the Yam Dwar, the journey starts for the next destination, which is Dirapuk. It is about a 12 kilometers walk from Yam Dwar. The Yatra begins. As we move ahead, everything looked amazing around it in the entire region. Such a beautiful creation of God, felt like Shiva has opened doors for us into the heaven. The Sanskrit word Shiva means auspicious, propitious, gracious, benign, kind, benevolent, and friendly. The roots of Shiva in folk etymology are Shi, which means in whom all things lie, pervasiveness, and Va, which means embodiment of grace. The word Shiva is used in Rigveda as an epithet for several Rigvedic deities including Rudra. The term Shiva also connotes liberation, final emancipation, and the auspicious one is addressed to many deities in the Vedic layers of literature. The term evolved from the Vedic Rudra Shiva to the Shiva in the epics and Puranas as an auspicious deity who is the creator, reproducer, and dissolver. The Vishnu Sahasranama interprets Shiva to have multiple meanings: the pure one and the one who is not affected by the three gunas of Prakriti, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. The religious significance of Kailash is Axis Mundi, the center of universe. It is a place where heaven meets the earth and is also known as the cosmic pillar of the world. There are many spots in the world where Axis Mundi is present with high spiritual energies. Like in a human body, the spine holds all the lowest to highest realms of body. Similar to this, the Axis Mundi is the cosmic connection between all the universal consciousness of heaven and earth. According to Shaivism, the highest form of Ishwar is formless, limitless, transcendent, and unchanging absolute Brahman, and the primal Atman, that is soul or self of universe. There are many both benevolent and fearsome depictions of Shiva. In benevolent aspects, he is depicted as an omniscient yogi who lives an ascetic life on Mount Kailash, as well as a householder with wife Parvati and his two children Ganesha and Kartikeya. In his fierce aspects, he is often depicted slaying demons. Shiva is also known as Adi Yogi Shiva, regarded as the patron god of yoga, meditation, and arts. Vishnu Puran describes Kailash. Four faces are made of crystal, ruby, gold, and lapis. It is believed that doing one parikrama is equivalent to turning one round of wheel of life. The mountain is the pillar of the world, and the entire universe is operated from this place.
कैलाश पर्वत बम बम बोले ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय।
The second day parikrama is about 25 kilometers, and you have to go through the Dolma Pass, which is at an altitude of 18 to 19,000 feet, where the oxygen levels are very low. Most of the people generally prefer to ascend Dolma Pass on a pony, except a few tough souls who prefer to walk, but you have to get down and walk during the descent. And then descend steeply to Zutulpuk, which is at a height of 15 to 16,000 feet. Now we proceed to Dolma Pass, where there is a Shakti Peeth. Gaurikund, a water body that is also known as Lake of Compassion. It lies on the way while going downwards from Dolma Pass. The steep descent from Dolma Pass is a wonderful lake which is at an altitude of 5,608 meters. As per Hindu myth, there is a fascinating tale about Gaurikund and has been described in the legend Shiv Puran. The lake is also famous as Parvati Sarovar, as this was the place where goddess Parvati had acquired her son Ganesha, an elephant-headed god. Goddess Parvati had formed an image of Ganesha from the soap leather on her body and breathed life into it. After reaching the highest physical and spiritual point of our journey and having blessed by Lord Shiva and Parvati, our descendant journey begins. This is the phase where our souls are purified and you have to be on your own. It's a time when you ideally get rid of your ancestral deeds on your return journey. We not only have to pass through land but also an iced water body on our way, which was like a miracle. After traveling for days and such hard travel, we reached Zutulpuk. Our joy knew no bounds. It was Lord Shiva's blessing that made us complete our second day of parikrama safely. We celebrated our happiness with locals of our journey by singing and dancing on the tunes. After an energized night stay at Jatulpuk, we started our last day parikrama of about 8 kilometers. We started an easy walk of 3 hours on a broad plain, passing many main walks, then coming to a narrow valley named Bhairav Ghati. It was unbelievable for everyone when we stepped the last foot of our completion, and same time there was a mixed feeling and emotion on everyone's face. We were back on our feet with a jaw-dropping, courageous and a successful experience. Words knew no limits to express this generous moment.
कसं वाटतंय?
It was the best day ever. Felt like a dog with two tails, of joy of springs on the top of the world, or maybe felt like in seventh heaven.
कसं वाटतंय?
आता बरं वाटतंय. आता यात्रा संपली. कैलास मानसरोवर परिक्रमेची.
कसं वाटतंय?
फार छान. मस्त.
पूर्ण झाली परिक्रमा. त्याच्यापेक्षा आनंद काय?
हॅलो, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय.
कसं वाटतंय?
जगास मिलिंद. ओम नमः शिवाय.
मस्त तुझ्यामुळं झालं. ये ओळख.
सबसे बड़ी चीज ये है पहली बार मैंने देखा
तकलीफ तो नहीं ना हमारी
26
वजह से.
26 आदमी को पूरा किया, बीमार एक भी नहीं पड़ा. सबसे बड़ा ये बीमार एक भी नहीं पड़ा. सबसे बड़ी बात.
अरे वळू अपना दवे साहब. नंबर कौन सा? ना, बस नंबर कौन सा? 22. 22.
हाँ
फोटो ले ले.
complete Kailash Yatra. We finally complete Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, and here is the group. Bam bam bole.
Though you have to come back home after this, but our soul remains there with Lord Shiva. why did I come here? In reality, one time is enough if you want to go and see what's there. But if I get another chance to come, I will. I'm continuously aware of the positive changes that it brings to me, and future I will seek it again. But it's difficult to express in words. I would simply love to return to this place.
We finally completed our journey of Kailash.
ईशान सर्वविद्यानां ईश्वर सर्वभूतानां ब्रह्माधिपति ब्रह्मणोऽधिपति ब्रह्मा शिवो मे अस्तु सदा शिवो नमो हिरण्यबाहवे हिरण्यवर्णाय हिरण्यरूपाय हिरण्यपतये अम्बिकापतय उमापतये पशुपतये.
Coming here in order to find a spiritual path or enlightenment means asking yourself some questions to your inner dialogue. Your personal decision will help you understand what place to go. At least try to get there. If it's not meant to be, then the yatra will not be possible. A lot of people try to get these but have problems with their visa, flight, health, etc. If you have an opportunity to visit Mount Kailash, then you should. We don't know if we could ever visit it again. Not everyone can bear this trip. Everyone needs it, and not just anyone can understand us. If you have an opportunity to visit Mount Kailash, then you should. We don't know if we could visit it again. Not everyone can bear this trip. Everyone needs it, and not just anyone can understand why we have been to such mountains instead of a beach. I think 99% of people will not understand us, unfortunately. There is an opinion that only those who have been invitation from Lord Shiva can come to Kailash. Maybe it's possible for you.